Yo, Sean, I might do it right now, actually. What was the how'd you do? I'll try it right now. What was the thing you had to do first? Hey, Donna. Oh man, I just caught this massive short the whole way down. FOMC. Man. Dude, luckily I got out of the shower quick. Dude, I caught on this account that I need to get to 56,000. I got $800. I just caught the whole dumpski I just caught. What up, Jazz? What's going on? If I had to guess, we're going up now. What up, Monet? What up, Dell? But yeah, I just caught this whole move down, grabbed it. Start taking out some max payouts. Get the maxes. Trying to bring my stuff up real quick. Yeah, I think that was the sell-off, and now, if we were in normal session, I would say we're going to continue up at this point. I doubt they're going to. I doubt that they're going to reduce rates. Oh, I'm just going to try passing some accounts on the. I'm going to try passing some accounts on the thing when they give it out. That's pretty much what I'm doing. There we go. That's going to be our prediction. Pro trader on the loose. Well, FOMC is in 9 minutes. I'm setting up my replicanto. Let's see what happens. You have buy. Oh, you're playing the wick down and back up. Maybe. I'm just setting this all up. I knew we were going to drop down again. I mean, that was almost. All right. I'm set up. I am set up. What? $1,400. Dude, this shit's gonna wick right. This shit's gonna go over wherever I'm at. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking what I want to do. All right. It's time. About to smash this shit. Literally been watching all week while trending to my. Oh, you got a newborn? Congrats, Monet. Congrats. Explain my setup. What do you mean my setup? For FOMC, Kron? I'm gonna have a buy.
Order rejected.
Ooh, lucky I just tested that out. What if I did 5? 5 is okay. Is 6 okay? Or is 6 too many?
Order rejected.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an order down here and an order like up here. So if it pops, it's going to fill me here, and then I'm going to get out here. If it drops, it's going to fill me, and I'm going to get out. But I'm going to get it closer as we get closer. Oh, I'm all set up. I have a copy trader I set up, Kron. I'm using Replicanto, and I just put all accounts that I want inside this. That's all. How this looks like it's going to go up. The one thing you don't want to do is get wicked in too soon. You don't want too soon, Junior. You know. Listen, do not use an account that's good. Do not use an account that's good. This is for accounts that are beat up. You know, this isn't for your account that's ready to pass or a funded account. Like, this is a straight up gamble. I don't know how many points the initial wick is, Kron. If I knew, you know, I have no idea. I'm just going to get somewhere close. Somewhere close enough. What I'd like if it was like down here, because then I could put it like right here, I'd be happy with. I don't, maybe 50 points, 100 points. I never really tracked it. Oh, baby. I mean, listen, my accounts are either going to be blown or passed. But I'm okay with that. Like, it's a risk. I'm risking it for the biscuit. But I'm telling you, if you don't want to lose an account, do not do this. Do not follow. Do not follow. Man, I kind of like it to the upside. Every time I say I like it to the upside, it dumps. So. Oh, baby. Don't you wick me in. Sometimes they'll like flash it down like right before or flash it up real quick. You do not want to get in too soon. Watch. Yeah, see how it just did that?
Order rejected. Order rejected.
Bro, how is that possible? What? I had it. I should have passed accounts. Are you kidding me? How did that just happen? I don't understand. I don't understand how that fucking just happened. I was right. It went up. I got filled fucking way. It went as high as 83. Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, that was the biggest slippage I've ever fucking seen in my life. Yeah, Carlos. Yo, it slipped me by 30 points. 30 fucking point slippage? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm guessing it's unchanged, right? Unchanged. Yo, did you play it in that contest, Dell? Dude, look at this shit. Oh, man. Now you're back at break even? It's funny how it comes up and touches right here exactly. So crazy how that happens. All right, let's get this show on the road. Fucking wild. Wild. I can't believe they fucking did that to me so bad. That's how my day has been. I caught a great short before in this account, which is great, but like, goodbye evals. Fucking ridiculous. How do you slip 30 fucking points? How does that happen? How do you slip 30 points? What up, Flip? I just don't understand. I think it's unchanged. They're not doing anything, is what I think. I'm pretty sure that that's the news, is they're not going to do anything. That's fucking ridiculous. Tell you what, you're definitely getting a little sell off here. You don't even see candles moving? It was clean on the NQ too. NQ was clean. The fills flip like it didn't fill me. It filled me 30 points higher. And then didn't get me out. Yeah, John, I got hit with 30 points. .30 slippage. Stupid. So stupid. Seriously. Fed is predicting modest stagflation due to tariffs. Yeah, unchanged. Just reading what some of the people are talking about. I would wait until he starts talking, but I'm going to be honest with you. This is probably not, it's probably not good. How's that sound? I wouldn't be surprised if they dump it. Dude, I wouldn't play that in your brokerage account, Josh, unless they guarantee you the price. Like, I would ask if it's guaranteed the price, and if it's not, I wouldn't play that in a brokerage account. Let's see, where's gold at? I mean, gold's pumping. Gold's pumping. The odds of a rate cut in September have gone up. Bro, I don't think they're going to fucking cut anything. I don't think there's going to be anything. I bet you they don't cut rates all year. How's that sound? Just be careful. Powell starts talking in 22 minutes. Damn, Baba. Powell talked in 22 minutes. So I got this feeling that it's going to dump. Pray for Baba. Oh, man. Dude, I didn't even finish setting this shit up. All right, here we go. Oh, I did end up setting this up. I don't know where it went, though. Oh, man. Anyone playing this now? I almost want to take it.
Order filled.
Let's see if they dump it. This is trading now until Powell talks is super just fucking risky. That's weird, Garen. That's super weird.
Order filled.
They rejected the pivot point. I feel like they're going to sell it back down at some point. Yo, who had their buy order halfway down? Did you just get filled down here? Somebody put their buy order down here. The spread definitely got wide. Spread definitely got wide once FOMC happened. Damn. Yo, who in this chat uses Thrive? Who uses Thrive in here? Anybody? Anyone using Thrive prop firm? Yo, they gone. That's why you don't use new prop firms. Yeah, Thrive. They did not. That's why you don't use new prop firms. Prime example. I'm sure there's a bunch of furus that were pumping it. I guarantee you, if you go back on Twitter, there's a ton of people that were telling you to use it. Yo. Yeah, they rug pulled. Yep. Yep. Crazy. Kelly was pushing them. Yeah. Well, you know, just remember who was telling you to use them. Wouldn't be following them anymore. I told you guys from the beginning, don't use. They came out. There was a couple new ones that rolled out. Told you guys, don't use those new firms. Couldn't have said it more. Couldn't have said it more. I don't, it's so crazy how people tell people to go use that shit. Yeah. Yo, what up, Amir? Yeah, that's why, I don't know. That's why I wouldn't use any of that shit. All the new firms, it works like this. If you're first in the door and you can get a payout real quick, the rules are usually really good for the very first people that are in. You need to get in, get your payout, and be done in like the first 4 weeks. And then, you know, if you're not in right away, you don't want in for at least 6 months. You know, you don't want in. That's what happens. That's the shit that happens. That's crazy. crazy. Yo, another prop firm down. This looks like it's about to dump here. Fraud prevention. Yeah. Yeah. Fraud protection. Stupid. It's so stupid. By the way, my Sol short's paying off. Solana short. 10x leverage paying off. I'm up. Actually, I'm up like $6 on Solana, which is like, I'm up pretty good at this point. I might be up $1,000 right now or more. Only because I 10x that shit. I don't know if you guys trade crypto, but I will swing trade crypto. And I am in Solana short since 150, 150-ish. What fraud, Baba? Making money? They make money. People making too much money. That's like the schemers and scammers. It's like, dude, it's just people trading. You trade, you make money. So weird how places like Take Profit Trader don't have those issues. Or My Funded Futures. So weird. So long. Thrive, you did everybody so wrong. Market's going nowhere. Well, Powell's getting on. This looks like he's going to dump.
Order filled.
There we are. I'll just fucking... I'll play it. I need some action. My hand is fucking shaking. I need some action.
Order filled.
Quick $80. $80 make you holla. Yeah, anybody know a good payout scheme? I know. Fucking... Yo, actually, somebody in here knows about a free eval scheme. I'm not even going to say who that is, but somebody knows about a free eval scheme. Yo, 5-finger discount. Oh, man. Can anyone use this platform? What do you mean? The one that's right here? This is Volumetrica. This is My Funded Futures has Volumetrica. Yeah, anyone can use it. Yep. Yo, if you like this platform, if you get an eval account that's not starter plus, expert, or whatever, if you pass that account, they'll give you a free eval. That's the deal that they're running right now. It's pretty fucking solid deal. Yo, if you need help setting it up, let me know. Or doing anything on it, let me know. Well, now you got to pass it, LK. I want to see you take it, at least pass it to get the other free account. I want to hear that you passed it. You got tired of Volumetrica? Order filled. Order filled. Update breaking news, Iranian army. All right, let's see what's going on here. They're going to carry out an operation, they said. Who thinks we're just going to get a dump here? Little Dumpy McDumperson.
Order filled.
Bro, I think we're going to get fucked. I think we're going to hammer this down.
Order filled.
Come on, keep it going full steam. Let's go. I'm up I was up 100 and didn't take it. Should I be greedy? Oh, take it.
Order filled.
185 bucks.
Order filled.
Oh, fucking slam that. Boing, yoing, 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 yoing. All right, 355. Got to remember, these accounts have consistency rules in them. So I don't want to fucking ring it up too much. I am actually going to stop in this account. All right, now on to this bad boy. Let's change up my replicanto. See if I can change this shit up today. 60. Yo, Powell's talking in 5 minutes, people. 5 minutes. If he trips on his way to the podium, we'll probably go down. Just letting you know. If he face plants, we'll probably go down. Pow, pow. Damn. What is going on? I am trying to trade. What are you doing, Luca? What are you doing, my man? I am trying to trade my best currently. Powell comes on in 3 minutes. I just shorted this down here. I covered literally at the bottom. Up. I'm up in up, kind of, down a ton over here. Nah, he starts speaking. I think I'm going to implement a new rule within my trading. So I've been journaling some shit, and I'm just journaling like trades I take and I get stopped out. I notice my stop is just too tight. I get stopped out all the time because my stops are too tight. I am probably going to start changing my stops to like 30 or 35 points on MNQ. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's only $350 risk per trade. And I think that's what I'm going to start doing. Just throw it out there. Too many times I'm in at like the bottom and I get wicked out, or I'll be shorting and like, you know, this candle wicks me out, but like if my stops were where they should be, I'd still be in. So I think that's my new thing that I'm going to do, is just expand my stops. I've kind of been journaling, and I think I'm going to be a lot more profitable like that. Powell starts speaking in a minute. He is currently moonwalking up to the podium. Oh, baby. Let's see what he says. You got 1 minute. All right, you want to hear it? Once they come on, I'm going to patch it through. You guys want to hear it? Yes? No? Maybe? When he says, hello, Newman. Yo. Yeah, I'm going to patch it through so you can just listen to it.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit
do you guys
of the
hear
American
it?
people.
Tell me if you hear it.
Despite elevated uncertainty, the economy is in a solid position. The unemployment rate remains low, and the labor market is at or near maximum employment. Inflation has come down a great deal, but has been running somewhat above our 2% longer run objective.
Stop it.
In support of our
Stop
goals,
it.
today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged. We believe that the current stance of monetary policy leaves us well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments. I'll have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Following growth of 2.5% last year, GDP was reported to have edged down in the first quarter, reflecting swings in net exports that were driven by businesses bringing in imports ahead of potential tariffs. This unusual swing has complicated GDP measurement. Private domestic final purchases, or PDFP, as we call them, which excludes net exports, inventory investment, and government spending, grew at a solid 2.5% rate. Within PDFP,
Your guy
growth
telling
of
me
consumer
that
spending moderated, while investment in equipment and intangibles rebounded from weakness in the fourth quarter. Surveys of households and businesses, however, report a decline in sentiment over recent months, and elevated uncertainty about the economic outlook, largely reflecting trade policy concerns. It remains to be seen how these developments might affect future spending and investment. In our summary of economic projections, the median participant projects GDP to rise 1.4% this year and 1.6% next year, somewhat slower than projected in March.
Yo, I think as soon as he stops talking, the
In the
market
labor
dumps.
market, conditions have remained solid. Payroll job gains averaged 135,000 per month over the past 3 months. The unemployment rate, at 4.2%, remains low and has stayed in a narrow range for the past year. Wage growth has continued to moderate while still outpacing inflation. Overall, a wide set of indicators
It's
suggests
definitely
that conditions
pumping.
in the labor market are broadly in balance.
Just
and
remember, a lot of the
consistent with
times
maximum
he's going to
employment.
take questions,
The
and when
labor
he's done
market is
talking,
not
it reverses.
a source of significant inflationary pressures. The median projection for the unemployment rate in the SEP is 4.5% at the end of this year and next, a bit higher than projected in March. Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer run goal. Estimates based on the Consumer Price Index and other data indicate that total PCE prices rose 2.3% over the 12 months ending in May, and that excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.6%. Near-term measures of inflation expectations have moved up over recent months, as reflected in both market and survey-based measures. Respondents to surveys of consumers, businesses, and professional forecasters point to tariffs as the driving factor. Beyond the next year or so, however, most measures of longer-term expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal. The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation this year is 3%, somewhat higher than projected in March.
You're fired. Get out of here.
Inflation projection falls to 2.4% in 2026 and 2.1% in 2027. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. At today's meeting, the committee decided to
fucking cut
maintain the
rates
target
already,
range for
man.
the federal funds rate at 4.25% to 4.5%, and to continue reducing the size of our balance sheet. We will continue to determine the appropriate stance of monetary policy based on the incoming data,
They're still
the
running
evolving
off the
outlook,
balance sheet.
and the balance of risks. Changes to trade, immigration, fiscal, and regulatory
Jim
policies
Blab.
continue to evolve, and their effects on the economy remain uncertain. The effects of tariffs will depend, among other things, on their ultimate level. Expectations of that level, and thus of the related economic effects, reached a peak in April and have since declined. Even so, increases in tariffs this year are likely to push up prices and weigh on economic activity.
Here we go.
The effects on
That's
inflation
not good.
could be short-lived, reflecting a one-time shift in the price level.
Holy fuck.
It's also
I bought,
possible that the inflationary
Dude, did you
effects
see
could
that
instead be
shit?
more persistent.
yo,
Avoiding that outcome
I just
will depend
accidentally
on the
bought
size
5
of the tariff
minis,
effects,
bro.
on how long it
I just
takes
made
for them to pass through
$850
falling
in 2
prices,
seconds.
and ultimately on keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored.
Yo.
Our obligation is
The
to keep
fuck?
longer-term inflation expectations well anchored and to prevent a one-time increase in the price level from becoming an ongoing inflation problem. As we act to meet that
Yo, let's
obligation,
fucking go.
we will balance our maximum employment and price stability mandates, keeping in mind that without price stability, we cannot achieve the long periods of strong labor market conditions that benefit all Americans. We may find ourselves in the challenging scenario in which our dual mandate goals are in tension. If that were to occur, we would consider how far the economy is from each goal and the potentially different time horizons over which those respective gaps would be anticipated to close. For the time being, we are well positioned to wait to learn more about the likely course of the economy before considering any adjustments to our policy stance.
Bro,
In our
that was
SEP,
the fucking catch.
FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path for the federal funds
Wow.
rate based on what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario going forward. The median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 3.9% at the end of this year, the same as projected in March. The median projection declines to 3.6% at the end of next year and to 3.4% at the end of 2027, a little higher than the March
Dude,
projection.
I can't believe that just fucking happened.
These individual forecasts are always subject to uncertainty, and as I've noted, uncertainty is unusually elevated. And of course, these projections are not a committee plan or decision. At this meeting, the committee continued its discussions as part of our 5-year review of our monetary policy framework. We focused on issues related to assessing the risks and uncertainties that are relevant for monetary policy and the potential implications for policy, strategy, and communications. Our review includes outreach and public events involving a wide range of parties, including Fed Listens events around the country and a research conference that we held last month. We are open to new ideas and critical feedback, and we will take on board lessons of the last 5 years in determining our findings. We intend to wrap up any modifications to our statement on longer-run goals and monetary policy strategy by late summer. After that, we will consider enhancements to our suite of communications tools, including the SEP. The Fed has been assigned 2 goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing inflation sustainably to our 2% goal,
I'm just throwing that
and
out
keeping
there.
longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country.
Talk about things being
Everything we do
more.
is in service to our public mission,
That's what caused this big
and we at the
scandal.
Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
Watch the market. Now it's going to choose a direction. Once
Thank
he's-
you. Colby Smith with the New York
once he's
Times.
done-
To what extent has the more limited impact from tariffs at this stage on inflation changed your view on what the ultimate economic fallout will be from these policies and the timing of when they will materialize in the data?
So we've had 3 months of favorable inflation readings since the high readings of January and February, and that's, of course, highly welcome news. Part of that just
I was
is
gonna ask that
that
question.
services, core services,
Nobody cares.
both housing services and non-housing services, have really been
You s-
grinding down
you
toward
said
levels
that
that are
these are
consistent
gonna
with
cost
2%
more in the
inflation. So that's the
future.
good news. We've had goods inflation just moving up a bit, and of course we expect, as you point out, we do expect to see more of that over the course of the summer.
See how he expects
It takes some time for tariffs to work their way through the chain of distribution
Tariffs
to the end
haven't worked
consumer.
their way through the
A good
chain
example
yet.
of that would be goods being sold at retailers today may have been imported several months ago before tariffs were imposed. So we're beginning to see some effects, and we do expect to see more of them over coming months. We do also see price increases in some of the relevant categories like personal computers and audiovisual equipment and things like that.
I'm gonna come.
That are attributable to tariff increases.
I'm gonna come.
In addition, we look at surveys of businesses, and there are many of those, and you do see a range of things, but many companies do expect to put all or some or all of the effect of tariffs through to the next person in the chain, and ultimately to the consumer. Today, the amount of the amount of the tariff effects, the size of the tariff effects, their duration,
Order
and the time
filled.
it will take are all highly uncertain. So that is why we think the appropriate thing to do is to hold where we are as we learn more. And we think our policy stance is in a good place where we're well positioned to react to incoming developments.
So in terms of how we should interpret the rate cuts penciled into the SEP, is
Order
this
filled.
reflecting that
Every time she gets on the fucking
there's an
mic, it goes
expectation
up.
that
It was just
underlying
going
inflation
down.
will
Let
just
him
stay long
talk.
enough contained that allows the committee to eventually move ahead with
Let
those
Powell
cuts?
cook. Bring this
Or is it
market
about
down a little bit.
responding to a deterioration in economic activity, let's say? I mean, how should we make sense of the forecast?
So if you look at the forecast, you will see that
do
people
you think he's gonna
generally
blame?
expect inflation to
China.
move up and then to come back down. But we can't just assume that. Of course, we don't know that. And, our job is to make sure, one of our jobs is to make sure that a one-time increase in inflation doesn't turn into an inflation problem. And that, again, that will depend on the size of the effects, how long it takes for them to come in, and ultimately on keeping inflation expectations anchored.
Hi, and thanks, Chairperson Howard Schneider with Reuters. If you look at the rate path starting in December to today and adjust it over the full time horizon you've got there. You've taken about a quarter point per year out of your projected path, and you end at a higher rate at end 2027 than you would have in the prior forecast. Is that a result of a sense that tariffs will lead to more persistent inflation? Is it a result of reassessments of where your short-term neutral rate is? Why are you on a slower path now?
So I would focus most on the nearer term as you get out to the later years. It's hard for anybody to know where the economy is going. You didn't see people moving their longer term, estimate of the neutral rate, for example, at this meeting. So and those things are probably slow moving. So I think if you look at what's happening here since March, this is since March, right? You see a little slower growth, just a tiny tick up, a 1/10 tick up in unemployment, and you see inflation moving up 0.3. And by the way, it was a similar move from the December SEP.
Do you think the rift's coming?
So that's what you see.
I don't know,
you see
man.
The effects of tariffs. I think we learned in April.
I think
after the March meeting that
I think
substantially
he's
higher
going to get off the
tariffs
mic and
were
it's going to
likely. And then since then, the estimates of where the tariffs will be have actually moved back down, although still at an elevated level. So we're adapting in real time, and what you see is an accumulation of individual assessments.
You say in the statement that risks have diminished on that front, but the July 9th, drop dead date for all the Liberation Day tariffs is still out there and unresolved. You've got now exchange of missiles between two Middle East adversaries with a possible U.S. involvement. How can you justify saying that risks have diminished?
So what we said was that uncertainty uncertainty about the economic outlook has diminished but remains elevated. Many
Still, it's open and closes at noon Eastern time.
That's actually a line.
But the volume is going to be bad. I probably wouldn't trade tomorrow if I
remember to check that.
Maybe the world will be.
Just throwing it out there. The volume's going to be bad.
But
you
if
can
you
have a
think
lot of
about
whip.
it, tariff uncertainty really peaked in April, and since then has come down, and that's really what that's just acknowledging. It's diminished, but still elevated. It's uncertain.
It's going to be in and out. If you want to hang out. But I'm just telling you, it's not going to be a good trading day.
Thank you. Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. There is an argument out there in favor of cutting rates more immediately.
Dude, why did they freeze you?
Inflation has continued to cool and is back at
Are you in the U.S., Chris?
Despite the tariffs. And I guess I also wanted to ask about cracks in the job market with gross hiring slowing, concentrated in just a few industries. We've seen some housing data, including this morning, that have been pretty weak. Do you see any concerns that
this guy's short the market right now?
As a reason to cut rates going forward?
So we do of course monitor all those things. I think if you look at the overall picture, what you're seeing is 4.2% unemployment and an economy that's growing at a rate hard to know given the unusual flows in the first quarter, but it appears to be 1.5–2%, maybe a little better than that. Sentiment has come up off of its very low levels. It's still depressed. So you can point to things. The housing market is a longer run problem and also a short run problem. I don't think it's indicative of basically the situation is we have a longer run shortage of housing, and we also have high rates right now. I think the best thing we can do for the housing market is to restore price stability in a sustainable way and create a strong labor market.
Reduce rates, motherfucker.
For the housing market. You asked
That's
about
the best thing you can do. Reduce rates.
The job market. Again, look at labor force participation, look at wages, look at job creation. They're all at healthy levels now. I would say you can see perhaps a very, very slow continued cooling, but nothing that's troubling at this time. But we watch it very, very carefully.
Yeah,
so
sure, man.
Overall, again, the current stance of monetary policy leaves us well positioned to respond in a time when we wait to economic developments, and for now, and we'll be watching the data carefully.
Well, just quickly on given that there are concerns inflation will rise, but there is the alternate scenario that tariffs would create demand destruction and slow growth sufficiently, and that would perhaps keep a bit of a lid on inflation. Do you see odds of that scenario? What kind of odds do you see of that scenario coming true, and how many months of cool inflation would you need to see before concluding that maybe that lower inflation scenario is taking place?
So this is very much the conversation we had today and yesterday. There are many, many different scenarios, many combinations of scenarios where inflation does or doesn't prove out to be at the levels we think, and where the labor market does or doesn't soften. And I think what you see people doing is looking ahead at a time of very high uncertainty and writing down what they think the most likely case is. No one holds these rate paths with a great deal of conviction, and everyone would agree that they're all going to be data dependent, and that you can make a case for any of the rate paths. I think
I won't use that to connect.
ECP. And we do this once a quarter. It's a hard thing to do at this particularly at this time, but it does reflect. If you see somebody writing down a rate path that involves cuts, that's them saying, yes, I think we will get to a place, more likely than not, where cuts will be appropriate, and it could be a joint.
Oh, he's talking rate cuts.
Possible outcomes.
Pump it.
Again, remember how much uncertainty we face, though.
Pump it. You're not going to pump it on talking rate cuts?
Mr. Chair, I wonder if you could describe for us some of those scenarios. How do you get to a place? I'm noticing that the uncertainty levels in your forecast.
Bro, you're talking rate cuts.
How do you get to a place?
I thought we were going to fucking rock it.
The outlook for, say, inflation.
I still think it jumps once he gets off.
The unemployment rate. How many months does it take, and what do you want to see in the data to get to that level of confidence to actually reduce rates off the restrictive level?
So it's very, very hard to say when that will happen. We know that the time will come. It could come quickly. It could not come quickly. As long as the economy is solid, though, as long as we're seeing the kind of labor market that we have and reasonably decent growth and inflation moving down, we feel like the right thing to do is to be where we are, where our policy stance is, and just learn more. And in particular, we feel like we're going to learn a great deal more over the summer on tariffs. We hadn't expected them to show up much by now, and they haven't. And we will see to the extent to which they do over coming months. And I think that's going to inform our thinking, for one thing. In addition, we'll see how the labor market progresses. So at some point it will become clear. I can't tell you exactly when that will be. And meanwhile,
I don't think they want to reduce the rates until after Trump
for signs of weakness and strength,
restructures
and tariffs for signs of what's going to happen.
September's going to be a
there are many
brutal
developments
fucking
ahead. Even in the near term, developments are expected on tariffs. So I think we don't yet know with
this
any
dumps as
confidence
soon
where
as
they
he's
will
done.
settle out. We have an estimate, and it's I think all estimates are now pretty close together, but it's again highly uncertain.
When you say estimate of the impact of tariffs on the core PCE, is that what it is? And could you share that?
What you start with is what's the effective tariff rate overall, and people are managing to that. But the pass-through of tariffs to consumer price inflation is a whole process that's very uncertain. As you know, there are many parties in that chain. There's the manufacturer, the exporter, the importer, the retailer, and the consumer. And each one of those is going to be trying not to be the one to pay for the tariff. But together, they will all pay for it together, or maybe one party will pay it all. But that process is very hard to predict. And we haven't been through a situation like this. And I think we have to be humble about our ability to forecast it. So that's why we need to see some actual data to make better decisions.
Bro, they're going to be so late to reduce the rate.
And again, in the meantime, we can do that because the economy remains in solid condition.
Order filled.
This is just going to fucking dump.
Nick Tamarosa, The Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, I guess I'm wondering if you could explain a little bit more the divergence we see in the dot plot, particularly around the 2025 rate projections. I realize this is, you have one group of officials that are putting down no cuts, another that are putting down more than one. And again, recognizing that could be difficult to summarize, but is it a matter of people having a different outlook or a different reaction function, a different commitment to defending against another inflation mistake? How did that play out over the last 2 days?
So you're right. This is often the case. We have a pretty healthy diversity of views on the committee. We did have strong support for today's decision and broad agreement that our policy stance does leave us in a good
position. That was a good fucking hit.
I would point to two factors, and you mentioned
some of this.
The first is just that parties have a diversity of forecasts, and they do align with where their dots are. So if you have a higher inflation forecast, you're going to be less likely to be writing down.
What can you not get it connected?
But remember, as we see more data, we're going to learn more
What's
about
the
where
issue?
inflation
You
is
get it
headed. And
connected?
that means when it is time to look at resuming our normalization process, the differences you see should be smaller because we'll have seen actual data. Right now, it's just
By
a
the way, I hope
forecast at a
nobody
very
bought
far
that
in time.
Thrive,
So that's the first part, is
Thrive
forecast.
prop firm.
Secondly, people can look at the same data and they can evaluate the risks differently, as you know. And that includes, the risk of higher inflation, the risk that it'll be more persistent, the risk that the labor market
What
will
up,
be weaker.
Fred?
People are going to have different assessments of that risk. So that you put that in there too. So those are the two ways that the two things I think that drive these things. Remember though, as I mentioned earlier, with uncertainty as elevated as it is, no one holds these rate paths with a lot of conviction. So that's really where
No,
it
I'm
is.
just
It's
listening
a
to
function of those
Powell
things. And I think
talking,
as the
yeah.
data come in, you should see those differences diminish.
I think we're going to get a dump.
You've said
They
the
call
policy
them
is in a
dumps,
good place
big,
and that it's
massive
modestly
dumps.
restrictive. Given all the uncertainty you just talked about, tariff levels, uncertainty around the pass-through, is it price increases versus margin compression, some of the softness that Chris talked about in labor and housing, why wouldn't it be better to have rates at a more neutral setting as the economy heads into this period of very high uncertainty?
So if you just look backward at the data, that's what you would say, but that's not, we have to be forward-looking, and the thing that
Well,
every
they're never
forecaster, every
forward-looking.
outside forecaster, and the Fed is saying is that we expect
Order
a meaningful
filled.
amount of inflation to arrive in coming months. And we have to take that into account. So I think a backward-looking look would lead you to a neutral stance, but we
Order
can't.
filled.
We have to look at that, and because the economy is still solid, we can take the time to actually see what's going to happen. There's a range of possibilities on how large the inflation effects and the other effects are going to be. So we'll make smarter and better decisions if we just wait a couple of months or however long it takes to get a sense of
Order
really
filled.
what is going to be the
This is
pass-through
gonna go
of inflation and
fucking- this is gonna
what's going to be
dump.
the effects on spending and on hiring and all those things.
Michael McKee from Bloomberg Radio and Television. Your friend down at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue continues to lob insults in your direction, and I'm wondering, given now that the Supreme Court has
Order filled.
maybe carved out the Fed from some of the legal implications of that, whether this is just noise that the markets and everybody should ignore until your term is up, or whether you worry that it could lead to more pressure on confidence on Wall Street, on consumers about the outlook for the economy.
Look, from my standpoint, it's not complicated. What everyone on the FOMC wants is a good, solid American economy with strong labor market and price stability. That's what we want. We think our policy is well positioned right now to deliver that and to be able to respond in a timely way as the data lead us around. The economy's been resilient, and part of that is our stance. And again, we think we're in a good place on that to respond to significant economic.
They don't want to. They don't want to
matters.
reduce
That is
rates.
what matters to us. Pretty much, that's all that matters to us.
He doesn't want to reduce
I need
rates
to
at all.
ask, assuming you are not reappointed, would you stay on as governor when your term as chair ends?
I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about this.
Andrew.
Oh, he's getting
Thanks,
flustered.
Mr. Chairman. I guess with workplace raids increasing, picking up significantly, what kind of effect would that have on the labor market
Sorry,
in the short
with
term?
what picking up?
Workplace
filled.
raids.
So you're asking immigration.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't want to speculate. One way to get at that from an economic standpoint, we of course don't comment on immigration policy. It's not ours to make or comment on. But what you see is an unemployment rate that has
Order
been
filled.
really solid and at a low level, not really increasing. It's been in a
Bro.
good range and well within the range of mainstream estimates of maximum employment. And that means, like, part of that is that labor demand and labor supply are
Powell getting
moving down at the
flustered.
same
I'm just
rate.
telling
Labor
you.
demand is softening. You see that in job creation, but it's still kind of at a healthy level. And labor supply is diminishing
bounce it
because
up a little bit,
the
and then let's
immigration
dump it.
numbers that we see are much lower than they were. So those two factors, supply and demand, that's what has kept the unemployment rate in a reasonably stable place.
Okay, thanks. The other thing I wanted to follow up on is if you could could elaborate on the potential changes to the SEP that you suggested were part of the framework review, I think.
So the framework review really has two tracks, right? The first track is our policy framework that is reflected in the consensus statement. And we've said that we would finish that and announce it by
here's the
summer.
sweep.
So
watch this.
We're well along in that process. We've had the meetings that we need to have, and we're now going to be going into
I'm not saying we're going to go up,
discussions
but just watch.
about specific changes to language. So that's the framework part of it. The second part of it is our communications tools and practices. Pardon me. And that part comes next.
We just
that's what we're going to do in the meetings this fall. Actually, what we did at this
talk about-
meeting
Oh,
though, is
here we go.
we sort of prepared the ground for
Sweet.
that. We had a
I
meeting where
told
we
you it was
talked at
gonna
a high
dump.
level about a number of
fucking
ideas.
hear it.
The SEP is part of it.
hear it.
Many other ideas. It's sort of how do we think our communications can be improved? There are a number of ideas. People offered a really, it was a great conversation, number of ideas, but we're going to look at those with staff briefing and a lot of thought.
Do not try to catch
in
a
the
full
fall.
knife.
And I
Wait
would
till
say when it
Obama
comes to
did.
changing communications,
I do think they're going to bring it back up a little
I would
bit.
only I would only support things really that only implement things that have very broad support. And also, you want to be really careful because I think our communications are pretty well received. They're not broken.
Stop it.
So more is not necessarily better, but better is better. So we're going to be looking at ways to do things that will improve
Dude,
the
no one believes
clarity
you.
of what we do for the benefit of the public.
You're going to be late to cutting rates.
Thanks, Chair Powell. Kelly O'Grady, CBS News. You're famously known as the guy that makes decision based on data instead of speculation. You've said today the inflation data is in a good place. We don't know how tariffs are going to impact prices going forward. That's uncertain. But I've got to go back to the last time that you cut rates in December, and there was still the what if of tariffs. So what made you feel comfortable cutting then when inflation was higher than where it is today and you didn't cut today?
Well, the forecast for inflation in December was 2.5%. Core PCE for 2025, the forecast was 2.5%, which was a good inflation forecast. I think what we've learned is that, and this was long before we had any idea of what the actual policies would be, we've learned that the tariffs are going to be substantially larger than forecasters generally thought. And we don't, our forecasts are generally not particularly different from those of other, well-resourced forecasting operations. So what we learned, and particularly in April, was that very substantially larger tariffs were coming and that would mean higher inflation. That's what happened. And so you saw 2.5% forecast in December. You saw 2.8% in March, and you see 3.1%
still talking
now. So it's 0.6 higher inflation for 2025, and that's a big part of.
I mean,
the
honestly,
change,
like if he wasn't
that's
talking,
due to
this
the
is
effects of
a
the
great
tariffs
setup
that
to
are,
go along.
we don't know where they're going to
If he
land,
wasn't
but it's pretty
talking.
apparent they're going to land higher than outside forecasters were really guessing at the end of last year.
My follow-up to that, I think consumers, right, we're looking for relief on rates when it comes to mortgages, car loans. Small businesses want to take out more manageable loans. When you look at the cumulative inflation over the past 5 years, prices have risen over 20%. It's been a rough road. So what is the tipping point then for the wait and see approach in terms of how much it's going to help versus when it hurts the American consumer?
Well, I mean, we're trying to restore price. Best thing we can do for the public that we serve is restore price stability.
Dude,
if we can,
just
and we will
stop it and
restore
cut
price
rates.
stability, meaning 2% inflation on a durable, sustainable basis. That
Stop blaming
and also
everybody
maximum
else.
employment. If
China.
we restore those things, that's the best thing, and that is our goal. The best thing we can do for the American people, for households and businesses, that is the ultimate thing that we can deliver. And they can make their decisions without having to think about inflation all the time. So in the meantime, we have to keep rates high to get inflation all the way down.
You need
They're not
power
very
to say
high,
something
let's
good.
be honest. I would say policy is modestly or moderately, probably modestly now restrictive. If you look at the economy, it's not performing as though it were performing under very strict monetary policy, very restrictive monetary policy. So I would say probably modestly restrictive. And so what it will take is confidence that inflation is coming down. Now, I
It
would
is
say
coming down,
without
dog.
tariffs, that confidence would be building because if you see what's happening with non-housing services and housing services, which are the other two big pieces other than goods, those are coming down really nicely.
Got my finger on the trigger
I think
here.
we have to learn a little more about tariffs. I don't know what the right way for us to react will be. I think it's hard to know with any confidence how we should react until we see really the size of the effects, and then we can start to make a
just
better
cut
judgment.
rates.
That's
Wrong.
what we're doing, and I think we can take the time to do that because
Back to minus
unemployment is
1,000.
4.2%. Wages are moving up. Real
Yo, you
wages
feel
are moving up
alive?
at a healthy clip now.
You do feel
And
alive.
inflation is 2.3%.
I told you
headline
short,
inflation
though. I figured
over
they
a
would
12-month
dump it. I thought it was
basis.
gonna
So
wait till he was
it's a
done.
good economy and a solid economy with decent growth.
Thank you, Chair Powell. So you're saying that uncertainty has come down, the economy is moving at a solid pace, inflation has come down over the past 3 months, and this is all moving in the right direction. So are you indicating here that Americans should expect some sort of economic pain in the second half of the year?
Uh-oh, this is big right here.
I'm not saying that at all. From our standpoint, what I can say is that the U.S. economy is in solid shape. Inflation has come down. The unemployment rate remains at 4.2%. As I mentioned, real wages are moving up. It's a good job creation is at a healthy level. Unemployment, again, as I said, low. Labor force participation in a good place. So, and what we're waiting for to reduce rates is to understand what will happen with really the tariff inflation. And there's a lot of uncertainty about that. Every forecaster you can name who is a professional,
Come on, don't say anything stupid.
forecaster with adequate resources.
Guy
and
just gave you a
forecasts for
layup.
living
Don't
is
say anything
forecasting
stupid. Let's
a
go.
pretty significant. Everyone that I know is
Get back
forecasting
above
a
this
meaningful
orb.
increase in inflation in coming months from tariffs
back up.
because someone has to pay for the tariffs, and it will be someone in that chain that I mentioned
on,
between
go.
the manufacturer,
Pump it.
the exporter,
Don't-
the importer,
don't
the
say
retailer.
that, fucking
ultimately
Powell.
Somebody putting it into a
Say no one's
good of
gonna pay
some
for it,
kind,
we're gonna
just
cut
the
rates.
consumer buying it. And all through that
Somebody
chain,
say,
people
wink
will
if
be
you're gonna
trying
cut
not to
rates.
be the ones who pick up the cost, but ultimately
That's what they
the
should
cost of the
say.
tariff
Like, yo,
has to be
wink if
paid.
you're gonna cut
And
rates.
some of
And he
it
just winks.
will fall on the end consumer. We know that.
Yo,
because
Powell,
that's
breathe
what
if you're gonna
businesses
cut
say.
rates.
That's what the data say from past. So we know that's coming, and we just want to see a little bit of that before we make judgments prematurely.
And follow up on that. So you spent years though talking about how you're data dependent, and be a little more direct on this. Now you're making decisions looking forward. Doesn't the data you're seeing today indicate there should be a rate
Good
cut?
question.
No, I mean, your monetary policy has to be forward-looking. That is elementary. You've got to be looking. I always talk about the incoming data, the evolving outlook.
I'm willing to
and the
risk
balance
it
of
for the
risks.
biscuit.
We say that over and over and over again, right? So it's always forward-looking. If you know, at the very beginning of the pandemic,
Get off
we
the
cut
fucking
rates to
stage,
zero
Powell.
immediately. Nothing had happened. We just knew that it was going to be really bad.
Come on.
Right? So we took very
If I was
aggressive
there, I'd buy a
forward-looking
bunch of
because we
fucking-
knew things were going to
I would
be
get in long and then
unusually
just say,
difficult.
Powell, breathe if
So,
you're gonna cut rates.
Of course, this is something we
I'd be like,
sort of
"Got
know
him!"
is coming. We just don't know the size.
Got
of
him,
it.
he's breathing,
And again,
everybody.
the economy seems to be in solid shape. So the
And then if
labor
he just
market's not
passes
calling
out,
out for a
then
rate cut.
fuck it, my position's
Businesses, were in a bit of shock after April 2, but you see business sentiment, you talk to business people now, there's a very different feeling now that people are working their way through this, and they understand how they're going to go, and it
Keep
feels much more positive and
going.
constructive
Keep going.
than it
Oh,
did 3 months
shit.
ago, let's say. So
Oh, shit.
again, we
Who
think that
took
our
this?
current stance of
Who
monetary
fucking
policy is
took
in a
it?
good place.
Who took it to the house? Oh,
Thank you. I'm Maren Mokway with Bloomberg. Chair Powell, in February, you told Congress that the Fed is, quote, overworked, maybe not overstaffed. Then in a memo to staff in May announcing a deferred resignation program at the Fed, you said you wanted to ensure that the Fed was, quote,
yo, I'm gonna start getting
those
chalk.
two
I'm gonna
statements
throw
appear
it
to be
up
at
like
odds with
fucking
one another.
LeBron.
Could you explain what changed in the roughly 3 months between those statements that made you decide that staff levels at the Fed should decline?
I took it.
I don't see them at all.
It inverted
as
a fair value
intentional.
gap.
So
That's why I took it.
I was asked, is the Fed overstaffed?
That's
And
why
said
I
no.
took it.
And I sort of said as a pun, overworked but not overstaffed.
Structure
People do
for a
work
bottom was
extremely
there.
hard at the Fed, and
Came
I
back
know they
above
work
this,
hard at Bloomberg
above
too.
the bottom orb.
So,
lot
but we
of
do. We
bullish
work
shit
hard,
in there.
but I would say this. So we are careful stewards of public resources, and sometimes you need to show that. So there have been several times in our history, modern history, where the Fed has said, you know what, we're going to do a buyout. We're going to show the public, we're going to demonstrate that we are good stewards of public resources. So we thought, and I thought, that this is a time when we can, we grow at about, our headcount has grown at about 1% a year. So over the course of a couple of years, we're doing a careful scrub of the board and all the reserve banks, and we're going to find 10% of employees who can do something else, where we can streamline our operations. And
what the fuck
we
are
think
you
we can
talking
get there
about?
in a year, in a couple of years. We
Stop
think we can
it.
do that.
Stop
and
it.
we think this is without taking
What
a
up,
risk
Garther?
to carrying out our critical missions. So this is something you do very carefully, thoughtfully, and you do it, again, respecting that we have critical missions to carry out. I've had experience, a lot of experience in my prior careers, with headcount reductions and things like that, and this is how you do it professionally. You do it carefully, thoughtfully, with a lot of planning, and you do it over a period of time.
Yo, I love
I
trading
think
like this.
I think the Fed will be fine. I think no one will
I mean,
notice
that was
any
a setup
decline
I
in our
like.
ability to carry out our missions. And I think it's just us wanting to demonstrate to the public that we are actually good stewards of their resources.
Yes, you're a good
We're
steward.
effectively wiping
Sure,
out
I
10
believe
years of headcount growth with this.
I believe you.
So, I mean, we wanted to show that, that we're good stewards.
How is progress on reducing headcount going so far? Are you on track to meet the goal?
We're just at the very beginning. As you know, we're doing a buyout program. We're gonna hit that goal.
Yo, just remember,
I think many organizations find that
if you believe
they can do
that
this.
this
You don't wanna do
guy
it every year or anything, but you
has
can
your
do it
best
at
interest,
intervals, and you wind up
Congratulations.
not,
You played yourself.
not interfering with your ability to perform your jobs.
yo,
Congratulations.
Claire Jones
You
from the
played
Financial
yourself.
Times. As you're no doubt aware, the Senate Finance Committee has tabled its version of the reconciliation bill this week, and I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about the tenor of the debate at the FOMC over the past few days on fiscal policy.
This girl sounds like she uses
and the
the
degree
word
to which
naughty.
that influenced people's projections for 2026 and beyond.
oh man,
Yeah, so we don't sit around and debate or really discuss. We take fiscal policy as fully exogenous, and so we actually really didn't talk about the bill or the contents of it. It's still evolving. When it gets closer, remember also we have a very, very large economy, and that the effects will be at the margin. I expect that they may already be in, but they will be in by the next meeting. We'll make an estimate, but it's not a major thing. It's nothing that we discuss. It may have been mentioned a couple of times, but as something that's coming in. But I think the outcome is, we don't know the outcome yet there, so hard to be real specific.
this is super tight. Yeah, I'm out already.
Thanks, Chair Powell. Neil Irwin with Axios. There have been some cutbacks in
Dude, I
economic
just did that in the
statistics
wrong
collection in the
account.
last few weeks. Worries that long-running problems around funding and response rates may be getting worse. How much is this concern on your radar? How much confidence do you have that the gauges you're watching to assess the economy are reliable right now?
Two things. One, the data we get right now, we can do our jobs. I'm not concerned that we can't do our
This
jobs.
is the bottom org right here.
That's not the,
Oh,
that's not
I
the
wanna
point.
take
The
this.
point really is that we are starting to see, layoffs and important gatherers of data are saying that they're having to cut back on the size of their surveys. That's going to lead to more volatility in the surveys. I think we should take a step back and, from our standpoint, and I think the standpoint of businesses and governments and everyone, having really good data on the state of the economy at
Bro,
any
we
given
get
time
it.
is a huge public good. It helps, it not just doesn't help the Fed, it helps the government, it helps Congress, it helps the executive branch. More importantly, really, it helps
Yo,
businesses.
Mara
They
James
need to know
almost
what's
passed an
going on
account
in
at
the
the very
economy.
bottom.
The United States has been a leader for many, many years in this whole project of measuring and understanding what's happening in our very large and dynamic economy. And I hate to see us cutting back on that, because it is a real benefit to the general public that people in all kinds of jobs have the best possible understanding of what's happening in the economy and hence what's likely to happen. It's very hard to measure what's going on in the U.S. economy. If you read, there was a book called, it's really remarkable how many things you need to understand to estimate U.S. GDP. Very, very difficult, and it's so important that we get it right.
Going.
I just would say it's not a place to I would want to keep investing in that, for the good of the general public.
Victoria.
I think it's going to go all the way
Hi,
back.
Victoria Guida with Politico. So you're conducting this monetary policy strategy framework review, but next year we're supposed to have a new Fed chair, and I'm wondering if that affects.
I got out
the
before
way
she
that
asked
you're
another
approaching
before
this.
she asked
How
a
do you
question.
ensure that this framework will actually be durable?
I didn't know what she was going to ask.
The framework goes back
You
to.
never know what they're
document
going to
goes
ask
back
on the
to
next question. So
2012.
get in and get out.
And it's the
Great
committee's
degen.
document. It's not like we're going to invent a brand new way to do things. It's been an evolving document. So it shouldn't depend on who the chair is at all. It should depend on what's happening in the economy and what the committee wants to do. So yeah, it isn't really tied to any particular chair. And we used to renew it every year. Now we do it every 5 years. So, but I don't think I've never heard anyone raise this issue that, a new chair might want to come in and go in a completely different direction. I really don't think that's right. But but that's not going to be up to me to decide.
Is that affecting at all who
No,
you're consulting with?
Not at all. Not in any way.
I'm telling you, I think once he jumps off, it's going to dump, but we'll see. It's going to go one way or the other hard.
Thank you. Chair Powell, Matt Egan.
Or out
from
one
CNN.
for the full-on accounts.
Relatively low gas
When we were up
prices
here, I thought he was
this
going to end
year have
with
helped
dump.
drive down
But I still-
inflation in recent reports, but that trend is starting to reverse given the crisis in the Middle East.
It's all
How
going to
are
be
you
whatever the
thinking
last
about
question
how
is.
the Israel-Iran
The
conflict
last
will
question is
impact
going to
the
determine which
economy,
way we go.
especially inflation, and what lessons were learned during the 2022 period when another conflict, the Russia-Ukraine war, sent oil and gas prices skyrocketing?
Oh, shit.
So of course we're watching, like everybody else is, what's going on. I really don't have any comment on that. Possible that
Powell
that,
just
we'll
said
see
he's-
higher energy prices. What's
He's
tended
breathing
to happen
and relaxing.
when there's turmoil in the Middle East, you may see a spike in energy prices, but tends to come down. Those things don't generally tend to have lasting effects on inflation, although of course in the 1970s they famously did, because you had a series of very, very large shocks. But we haven't seen anything like that now. The U.S. economy is far less dependent on
Powell just
foreign
pulled it
oil
out.
than it was back in the 1970s. So, but there.
A quick follow-up. I've just got to ask you about artificial intelligence. Some technology executives have recently been warning that AI could wipe out a large chunk of entry-level jobs and significantly increase the unemployment rate. I'm wondering how concerned you are, if at all, about the threat that AI poses to employment.
Definitely does. What are you kidding?
So this is the question. The question really is, will AI be more augmenting labor or replacing labor?
Replacing labor,
And I wouldn't,
bro.
we all see those announcements, including one today. I wouldn't, overread a couple of data points, because, AI should be creating jobs at the same time. It may be replacing, maybe doing both. Anyone who's done any work with it, with AI, will have been a little bit stunned at how capable it is. And it's just a different thing. So I think this is something that certainly has transformational potential. And probably we're in the very early stages of it. They say
Iran wants to come
what
to
you're
the
seeing
White
now
House?
compared to what you'll see in 2 years is going to be very different and even more effective. So I think it's really.
Yo, what up, Delco?
That, of course, there are optimists who feel like it's going to make everybody much more productive. And there are those who think it's going to replace an awful lot of jobs right across the income spectrum, white collar, blue collar, and everything. So I just don't know. We don't have a house view on that, but this is going to be a very important question for some time.
Was that it?
Greg.
Uh-oh.
Thank you. Greg Rapp from MarketWatch.
Can AI
I was
make
wondering
you a
if you could
sandwich?
step back a little bit, Chair Powell. There's a spate of articles and a lot of op-eds now in the newspapers saying that the U.S. economy and the global economy is going through this profound change, akin to the end of the Bretton Woods era in the 1970s. And don't you owe the American people some sort of explanation for what we're going through? I mean, I noticed earlier this month when you talked about Bretton Woods a little bit, and you said that Bretton Woods, the Fed staff had to like change how the dollar, movements of the dollar wasn't impacting the economy. Are we going through something like that now?
Delco, I'm having a pretty good day.
Are you having to change how you do monetary policy? Is it that fundamental a change underway? Thanks.
It's certainly a time of real change. You know, from a geopolitical standpoint, from a trade standpoint, from an immigration standpoint, you see this not just here, but
Ned
everywhere.
Pablo,
So
you giving
there's
out the
quite a lot
Gawk
going on.
9,000?
It doesn't change the way we do monetary policy in the near term. I mean,
Is that what you're doing?
But and it doesn't change our objectives or what we need to do. And you know, these things are not really our issues. They're really issues for elected governments. All of those issues are really for elected governments. But there's no question it's a time of real change, and very hard to see where that goes. You know, will it be? There have been many things written about how it's going to be a more inflationary time. That's possible. It's not guaranteed. You know, AI could cut in the very other direction. AI could make people much more productive and push in the other direction. I don't know though. So, but you're right. But honestly, our focus is a much more practical one, and that is how do we keep inflation low and employment high in the near term. That's really what we're about.
Mark.
Hello, Chairman Powell. Mark Hamrick with Bankrate. What is the view about the growing amount of slack in the job market, including the softening in payrolls, the forecast of a modest rise in the unemployment rate, and the ability of workers to demand wage hikes or not in this environment where you have inflation surging?
You don't really see unemployment going up. You don't see increased slack really. I mean, at the margin, remember you're at 4.2% unemployment. That was for many years, that was a extremely low level. It happens to have come up off of an even lower level.
Yo, I'm going to get water. I'll be right back.
As low as 3.4%, but 4.2% is probably at the low end of estimates of the longer run, sustainable level of natural rate of unemployment. So I guess I wouldn't agree with that. And also, in terms of wages, real wages after inflation have been moving up sort of more than was consistent with 2% inflation. They're still moving up at a healthy clip, and I think much more consistent with 2% inflation given a reasonable assessment of trend productivity. So it's a pretty good labor market. You're right that the level of job creation has come down, but so has the supply of workers, the change in the supply, the new supply. So you've seen the unemployment rate remain pretty stable at 4.2. It's been as high as 4.3, but those are good numbers. So it's a pretty good labor market. There's a more concerning thing is there are not a lot of layoffs, but there are not a lot of job creation. If you're out of work, it's hard to find a job, but very few people are being laid off at this point. So that's an equilibrium we watch very carefully, because if there were to be significant layoffs and the job finding rate were to remain this low, you would have a lot increase in unemployment fairly quickly.
Fucking layoffs?
It hasn't happened. It really hasn't happened. The U.S. economy has defied all kinds of forecasts for it to weaken really over the last 3 years. And it's been remarkable to see just again and again when people think it's going to weaken. Now, eventually it will, but we don't see signs of that now.
Go to Jean for the last question.
Hi, Chair Powell. Jean Young with MNI Market News. There's been a lot of talk about cuts. I wanted to ask you, why do you think there are no forecasts for rates to rise or even to stay where they are next year, given that the projection for inflation is to rise to 3%, and there's a lot of there's some skepticism over whether
if price
hikes will be a one-time.
If he says they can rise,
so there are a number of people in the
prepare your
committee who wrote
butthole.
down no cuts this year, but some cuts next year. So, I think people are writing down their most likely path, right? They're not saying there's zero possibility of other things. Really, it's think of it as the least unlikely path.
You guys still
Situations
hear
like
him
this where
talking, right, through
uncertainty
my
is very
screen?
high.
I just want to make sure.
I think, again, people write down their rate paths, and they do not have like a really high conviction that this is exactly what's going to happen over the next 2 years. No one feels that way about their rate path. They feel like, what am I going to write down? I mean, what would you write down? it's not easy to do that with confidence. So
Yeah, I
would
just
say
want
it
to
that
make
way.
sure that you guys
We don't
hear
rule
it.
things in or out. Certainly, a hike is not the base case at all. It's not something people are writing down. But in the meantime, we do the best we can with these forecasts, and I think they're representative of of the different forecasts and different reaction functions that people on the committee have. So thank you very much. Thanks.
Oh shit, here we go. This is a complete guess because usually it goes one way or the other as soon as he fucking leaves the podium. Complete guess. But when he leaves the podium, it normally goes one way or the other. I'm curious if they're going to bring us up to the promised land. I'm at break even, so this is free. Fuck you. I was up $100. Fuck Powell. Is it going to hold 22,000 and fucking rip? That is the question. Hold 22,000 and rip? It's going to get over the VWAP.
Order filled.
Come on. I want that fucking Powell pump. I mean, the fact that we just got over the 200.
Order rejected.
What the fuck was that? I didn't even put an order in. Bro, I didn't even put an order in. I'm not buying fucking 10 minis. Are we going to go for it? I feel like this, rework the VWAP. We get over VWAP at 215, we're going to fly.
Order filled.
Nope. Nope. Right there. Fuck me. We're right there. We're right there for a Powell pump. Yo, my VWAP. I had to reset my VWAP. I had to reset it. Normally, once he gets off, it just takes off one way or the other. That's the normal trend. He jumps off, and it just rips one way or the other. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Damn, they just unloaded this thing. It rejected at the pivot point and VWAP. Couldn't get over the old pivot point. Man, I thought they were going to rip it right there, too. Crude down, gold down. That's interesting. Crude was up a lot, though, with the Irani thing. Iran and come on, man. Push it. Push it. This thing's fucking roasted. Is he going to pop? Right off the fucking... Move my stop up a little bit. Oh, now it's going to. Tell me it took me out at the bottom. Tell me I just got fucking bottom ticked. Tell me I just got bottom ticked. Oh, man. Man, they're just dumping. Powell, cut the rates. Cut them. What are you doing the thing, Dell? Are you in the thing still? What place are you in anyways? Another bum. It's not terrible. I'm up 355 in this funded account. I'm up 790 in this funded account. I have this funded account. I'm up 130 in. This funded account, I'm up another 130 in. It's not the best of days, but it's not like there's no bright spots. Couple bright spots, couple not so bright spots. W pattern on the 5 minute. I want to throw my W's up. I hope it brings us to the promised land. I blew these 3 accounts on FOMC on the actual 2 o'clock. So I didn't like, these aren't traded. And a lot of this is gold. I traded some fucking gold last night, which I shouldn't have done. What up, Rosales? What up, what up? What up, TJ? Damn, they're just bringing it all back. Oh shit! I didn't even realize I just traded that in a fucking. Oh, I'm out on that. That was risking it for the biscuit to the max. What just happened? What up, Ian? Dude, it's definitely tricky to. Okay, I'm out of a meeting. Did they let you out of jail yet, Maria? Pop this bitch up. Let's go. Ian, why isn't the code working? It's closed right now. You making money they're holding rates as is. Rates are staying as is. Of course, I put in brackets saying we go crazy move gets. Bro, it happens. Desmond, I blew 3 accounts today playing FOMC on at the 2 o'clock move. I actually blew more than 3, but it happens. It'll open up later on, Ian. It's just not open right now. It's set to open up later on. Woo, baby. $175. Make your hollers. Boy, yo, 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 yo. Tradeify is lying about a drawdown I never had. I was up I was up 4,500, not a dime a drawdown. Trading. I would make a video, Chris. Make a video of all your orders. You have the order book. Damn, you made 1,500 on FOMC. Yo, go into bring your orders up. Yeah, Chris, I would bring up all your orders. I'd make a video and ask how you got a drawdown if you never went in drawdown. It'll show your orders, where you bought, where you sold. TradingView is such a bitch. Just withdrew. I didn't even know TradingView had their own accounts. I thought it was just a platform. I use NinjaTrader for my personal futures account. You want to buy a funded account? They have straight to funded. Yo, the only straight to funded account I would get is Tradeify, but Chris is having a little issue over there. Three. I'm not going to do MOC today. I'm not doing MOC. I will do. I am going to drift at 4 o'clock. I'm definitely drifting at 4 o'clock. Oh, what up, Newts? Well, let me know if you're going to send it, because if you're not going to send it, I'm going to make my own tonight. That's why. That's why I was only asking you, because if you don't do it, I just make my own. Oh, yeah. No, all right. That's great. Then I don't have to. I am most definitely not done trading. I'm just waiting. Yo, Baba. Am I going to work up a batch? What, batch of brownies? Oh, that's good, Newts. Dude, I think I'm going to... Kind of looks like we're flagging here. Can I make this back? Can I make this back? Nothing like revenge trading this account to try to make my money back. Keep pushing, baby. What are we doing? Keep pushing. Keep it going. Gold full port? Dude, you crazy. Bro, gold doesn't love me. I can tell you that right now. Gold does not love me. No. Why? Why do you do this bullshit all the time? You gonna make it love you? Yo, it smokes me every fucking time. Look at this fucking thing. Yo, it puts lotion on my skin. Yo, what up, BK? Bro, gold destroys me. Dude, did this stop me out only to eventually go? Top of the orb. Top of the orb. It is. I don't know, though. So glad it stopped me out. I just ensured that it's going to go higher. Just by going short right here, I ensured that we're going to go up. Look. You can thank me now. I knew that was going to happen. That it wouldn't reject the orb when I fucking buy. I was just in long, too. It's going to wick up, get me, and then come down. I feel it. I feel it. Watch. Now it's going to come down. Yo, I can't make this up. I can't make it up. I think this account is cursed. Every fucking time I go a position, it always goes the other way. You ready? You ready? We just came under the orb, right? It got one of mine so fast. Fuck. I just took some profits to ease it. Yo, I'm in minis. Fuck yeah, I'm in minis. Keep bouncing code. Keep bouncing off that PP. What are you doing over there, bro? Yo, I don't. We're going to, yo, we're going to need some extra. Yo, I know, man. I'm joking. I know. Yo, hope nobody was using Thrive. I'm sending a bill. Yo, Thrive is done. Who would have seen that come? Jeez. Thrive. Code penguin walking. Yo, Thrive was done in what was it, 30, 40 days? Did they refund traders? Larry, it's done. They kept your money. All the accounts are gone. You ain't getting paid. If you followed some furu that told you to fucking buy it, better unfollow them. You got rug pulled. They rug pulled everybody. I think, wasn't Sage involved? I think Sage was the first person to be paid by them. Yo, I wouldn't trade with top one futures either. You guys are risking it. You're risking not getting paid. Yeah, June left after 3 weeks. Yeah, I mean, the fucking guy laughed his baby that he spent so much time on, and he's done in 3 weeks. Yo, hold on. Red flag, baby. Holy shit. Everybody smash the confetti for Marie. She's requesting her first Topstep payout. What is the deal at Wise? Well, you set up a Wise account and they send it to you. That's how they pay. Congratulations, Marie. Get fucking paid. Tell those guys at your fucking old job to go fuck themselves. Boom. Congrats. Congrats. If you guys are wondering, one of the big things that helped Marie become profitable, change into micros. See, boys? Micro's a good thing. When the CEO of your prop firm leaves after 3 weeks, not a good thing. Red flag that bitch. Red flag. Yeah, they have bank transfer, Marie. I use bank transfer. That's how they pay. I don't use Wise with Topstep. Holy shit. Oh, that was MOC. Look, MOC, maybe you would have gotten paid. I'm just curious if they push it to the fucking moon here. I'm wondering if they push it like 50 fucking points. Yo, Alfred, you switched to micros and been doing better? Yo, Jim Blab. Yeah, the big ones hurt. That's the perfect size, bud. That's what she told you. Yeah, that's why I wasn't playing it, Maria. I want to see them either dump it or like do something really fucking quick. Like a big flush here would be nice. I'm not the 355. Dude, I'm lucky. I'm just playing this. I'm trying to scalp this thing. Yo, Dell. That's awesome, though, Marie. Get that payout. Yeah, but it lets people stay in the trade longer. So that's what the difference is, Deba, is they stay in the trade longer. I am going to drift end of day if any of you guys are on. Drift, baby! Just past the 50K, Andy. Very nice. Yeah, it definitely lets you survive. Marie might go full-time trader. Yo, Iran wants to meet and discuss a deal at the White House. After the market, it usually drifts one way or another. And I'm going to play it. How long did it take me to become profitable trader in general or prop firms? Prop firms or or everything? Yo, what up, Geronimo? The war is over. I hope so. Bro, it feels like they're just going to. In general, I was actually profitable right off rip. When I first started trading back in 2007, I barely had any drawdown. Financial crisis hit, and I made a lot of money early on, and then I was profitable right out of that. When I got into prop firms, it probably took me about 4 months to get to like break even, and then probably another month or two after that to become profitable. I mean, I trade everything. I trade crypto, I trade stocks, I trade options, futures. I'm in a soul short. I put in I'm in a soul short. I put in the Discord when I got in. I highly doubt anybody followed me, but I'm 10x leverage in it. I got in at 151.5 ish, and it's down $6. So at 10x leverage, it's a pretty nice move. But yeah, I'll trade anything. Today's actually a decent day. See, I trade everything that you could think of. I was betting on rain forecast for like 3 months straight. I won 3 months straight of betting on the amount of rain that would happen in New York City. I won three months straight. I never play same day options, Doug. I mostly sell puts, and then if I play options where I'm buying premium, it's long term. Not long term, like 6 months out. 3 months, 6 months. Never same day. That's risk. That's some like go to zero shit. But yeah, I do a little bit of everything. I find where there's opportunity, and that's where I like to put my money. Whether it's, whatever it is. I find the difference between futures is you're playing a chart most of the day. The other stuff, you're playing a story, as well as a chart and things like that. And you don't have to be right now. You can be right, in a week, in a month, and still get a massive payday. Dude, I'm just going to risk this for the fucking biscuit right here. Yeah, Doug. Yeah, but you can also go to zero. I'm about building my portfolio up, not risking trying to get 30% in a day. Believe me, if I made 1,000% on my portfolio in one day, you'd watch me helicopter right on the live stream. Right on the live stream, I'll give you a helicopter if I made 1,000% in my portfolio in a day. Don't even care. Wouldn't even care one bit. Be fucking wild. Be wild, wild. Yo, is that not the easiest $200 that you've fucking seen? Yo, every day, bro. Every day. What up, Brian? Was that not the easiest fucking $200? Holla at your boy. Yo, what up, Ted? Yo, yeah, Brian, after the fact, I wish I went in 10 fucking cons. But, you never know. Sometimes it's great. Other times you wake up and it burns when you pee. You know what I'm saying? When it goes great, you wish you went in more. Oh, you missed it, Maria? Dude, that shit was clean. That was so clean. Yo, Garcha. Ain't that the truth, though? After everything's said and done, everything's good. You're out in the clear. You're like, man, I wish I went back more times. But when you wake up, you know something's wrong. You're like, fuck, why did I do that? Yep. That's the drift. Yo, what up, Insane? Yo, ducks are only open for 1 minute. It's timed. It's timed. Yo, top 10 is good, Dell. Yo, Dell, go all in on all 4 contracts to try to get it, dude. Go all in all 4 contracts right now and try to get top 5. Do fucking minis, micros, everything. Do it all. Yo, what's up? Yo, some of you guys don't even say what's up. Billy Joe's in here. Yo, what's up, man? Carl, Miguel, Dan Henderson. Say what? Dude. Yo, there's only 15 seconds left. Nah, futures are open. Futures are open. How did I do today? There's some bright spots, some not bright spots. You know, I hit funded account up, funded account up. Not good in these funded accounts, good in these funded accounts. You know, one of those things. Things are good. My biggest problem today was I literally called the bottom at, what was it, like 9:35? I think it was like 9:35. I'll check right now. I had the bottom right here. Literally, I got in at the bottom. I was on a fucking phone call. I got in right here. My stop was, I put my stop here instead of low of day. I always go low of day. Instead, I put it here for some stupid ass reason. I got wicked out. And if I didn't get wicked out, I probably would have wrote it up to at least here. Instead, I took a loss, and then I had to make back that loss, and it was crazy. Yeah, the problem is, Matt, there's no it was exactly what everybody thought. It was unchanged. And that's what everybody thought, so it's kind of what we got. Yeah, I mean, rates, they were expecting unchanged. That's exactly what happened. You know, little tidbit for anybody that's here. I'm probably not going to stream tomorrow. I'm going on a bachelor party for my brother. And tomorrow is a holiday. So market closes at noon anyways. And the price action is probably going to be shit. So I'm not even going to try streaming from the airplane. I'll just say fuck it and not trade tomorrow. On Friday, I'm going to try to stream. I don't know what's going on where I'm at. If I can even jump on for a half hour, I'll jump on and say what's up. I don't know what it's going to look like. But I do know that they have a rooftop shit, so I can maybe hang out on the rooftop and stream. Maybe I'll stream while I'm in the... Dude, they have a rooftop hot tub, so maybe I'll stream from the hot tub. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna be in Nashville. Anybody here live in Nashville? By the way, anybody in Nashville? I'm gonna be over in Nashville from tomorrow, and I come back Sunday. Your brother's over there? Marie, only for you, I'll open it up one more time. Go, Marie. It's open. You got your first payout? Go. How much do I make in a year using prop firms? I have not traded prop firms for a full year yet. Is Friday a trading day? Thursday and Friday count as one trading day. You still at work? Yo, lobber dobber. Yeah. I would say I might stream. I'll try to stream Friday at some point. Like, obviously, we're not doing shit all day. So, like, I probably get up and I'm probably going to trade a little bit. I don't know what it's going to look like. And you guys are going to bitch about the sound probably the whole time. But I'm going to bring a microphone with me and we'll see what happens. I'm going to be on my laptop, though. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to bring my laptop. I'll bring my microphone and we'll see what happens. If it's good, it's good. If it sucks, I'll jump off. But I'll try to make some trades, try to have some fun. I'll have no copy trader with me because all of that's on NinjaTrader and it's linked to my my desktop. So I can't just bring that with me on my laptop. If anyone complains, I'll bounce them. You know, I just trying to, try to have some fun. I know I could stream in the Discord because the Discord I could pop on at any time and I don't have to like set up the whole YouTube shit. So I know I can stream in the Discord. So I'll probably be in the Discord talking shit on the airplane tomorrow if I can get on. Actually, if I can get on, I can't stream, but if I could stream my laptop, I'll stream in the Discord tomorrow if anyone's around on the airplane. I don't know how much I could talk because I'm on the airplane. You can swap out your Replicanto ID in Mins to a new machine. Yeah, I don't do this. I'll be honest with you. The machine that I got sucks, my laptop. So, yeah, I take off at 9:45, I think. So it's like I'll be on the airplane at 9:15. If I can, I'll try to stream. I'll see what's up. I'll see what happens when I get to the airport. If no one's around, I'll pop it open. But I'm going to definitely be in Discord. I'll definitely be in Discord. Also, I'm going to do a big giveaway on Monday.
The market is closed.
So I'll definitely do a big giveaway on Monday. I would definitely be on Monday's stream. I got a little something planned. And yes, there's going to be a good sized giveaway on Monday. So I would be around for that. What up, Raymond? I'll be honest with you, the trade of the day was in the morning. I took it. Actually, I took two trades. This was a great trade right here. You would have targeted right up here. And then I took this whole short I took. This is how I made 700. This is how I made 790. Actually, I was down about $600, I think. And I took this fucking trade. I took this fair value gap to the downside and I just fucking held it. Was it this? No, it was. Sorry, my mistake. It wasn't that. My mistake. It was this. It was this right here. This was the one I took to the downside. I think I took this. I think I liked this. I liked the lower high. And then once we broke under the pivot, I took it and I held it. Hey, man, loss is a part of the game. You're not just going to win every day. You know, like I tell everybody, if the losses change how you treat people outside the market, you shouldn't trade. And when you close this shit down, you should still be the person that you are, and that's it. Don't let this affect how you treat your kids, how you treat your family. You know, just listen, you got good days, you got bad days. You know, you just got to keep rolling. Yo, I wouldn't use Elite Trader funding at all. There's a lot of people in here that used them that are no longer using them. I would not use it. Yeah, you just got to have you just got to say fuck it, man. Like, I'll be honest with you, like, I'm annoyed and sometimes I'll joke around and exaggerate it, but yo, after it's done, it's fucking done. I either made money or I didn't make money. Like, I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it like, oh, yeah, I'll be like, oh, I should have done that, or oh, fuck, I got bottom ticked. But deep down, if I was sitting here and I wasn't on the stream, I would just say, fuck it. On to the next trade. That's all you could do. Fuck it. Look for the next setup and take the next setup. That's all you could do, guys. I'm not, I don't dwell on it. You just can't dwell on it. And you can't let it affect your next trade either, where you go on tilt and you're like, oh, fuck. I just lost money. I got to make money back. Listen, if you want to take a large shot, you take a large shot, but you can't do it with emotion. You just got to say, okay, man, the next good setup, I'm going to try taking a bigger shot. I am going to play gold, by the way. Yo, it does improve your mental health, Dell, because you can't fucking care. You can't dwell on it. You just got to say, hey, it either worked or it didn't. I'm going to trade gold tonight, though. I'm going to try trading gold in. I'm going to trade gold in 3 or 4 accounts. I'm going to try trading the open, and if I hit it, I hit it. Yo, Chris, hit orders, hit this plus signal, this plus thing, get the orders out and show them the orders. Gold is for suckers except for at 9 o'clock. Yeah, Alfred. Certain times, it's just good. Dude, 8's slow. I don't know how you do the 8 o'clock thing. Might want to come in Discord, Code. Every time of the day, there's a spot for something at a certain time. Can you dig out your orders, Chris? Code's in Discord. You just got to pop on the voice. By the way, everybody that's in here, there's a link to our free Discord in the description of this video. A bunch of us go on voice. A bunch of us trade later on in the day. Just be cool. And you're more than welcome to come in, talk. You can jump on voice if you want to, or you can just listen. It's just one of those things. I think it's Sydney Open. Yeah. I put my kids to bed. It's just a good time of the day. Yo. My stomach is raw. I haven't eaten anything today. I fasted all day today. I'm on the fast before I go on this bachelor party. It's kind of detox. Yeah, sometimes we play poker at night. So if you want to play poker, we have poker. I wish I had brisket. I'm going to break my fast. So, yeah, only water, Amir. Last time I ate was, I don't know, 9 o'clock last night. I had a snack. And I'll probably eat again at, I don't know, 6 o'clock. So what is that, like 21 hours? I've gone days without eating. No, Flip. I've gone days without eating, though. 21 hours is nothing. I'll do. Actually, you know what? You feel more hungry right now at 20 hours or 21 hours. If you can go to sleep, when you wake up the next day, you're not hungry anymore. The second day is the easiest day to go through. Like you just wake up, you're not even hungry. I'll be fine if I want. I'm not going to because I'm going to eat dinner tonight with the family. But when I get back from this fucking bachelor party, I'm probably going to have to. I'll fast for like 50 hours, 55 hours to just detox my body from God knows what this weekend. I find sparkling water is the way. 0 calorie. There's nothing in it but carbonation and it's just, there's no juice. It's carbonated water. I have no problem, like Code, I'll be honest with you, I have no problem fasting. Like 0 issues fasting. I'll fast, no problem, no issues. Yo, 30 days is crazy, Elmi. Oh, Thursday and Friday count as separate days with My Funded Future. I didn't know that. Yo, have a great night, Maria. And listen, if I don't talk to you guys, enjoy the weekend. Don't get chopped up in tomorrow's shitty market. I'm just drinking Kirkland or Pure. All right, I'm going to run the duck races. We'll run the duck race now. We're going to do a big giveaway on Monday. So make sure you are around on Monday. Monday's the day. So we'll do something now. And then on Monday, I would fucking be around. Just saying. By the way, if you're new here to join the duck race and try to earn an account, you got to subscribe below. If you don't get notified, you got to hit the little bell button so you get notified when I go live. Otherwise, you don't get notified. It kind of sucks. There's a link to our free Discord in the description of this video. I stream live twice every day. Once 10:30 to noon, and then again from 2 p.m. to 4:30. I trade stocks, options, futures. So if you have questions about other things, I post in the Discord. I trade crypto. I posted that in the Discord. You know, just because I don't always talk about it on the live, I post it and make sure people know. If you want to support the stream and like free accounts, use coupon code COVETRADER below. It works at all the prop firms. Take Profit Trader, My Funded Futures, Tradeify, Apex. I use it to give away more accounts. Also, this is probably the best deal of the week before I do this. If you pass a My Funded Futures account, not including a starter account, if you pass one, they'll give you a free eval. And there's 0 activation fee also. So use coupon code CloveTrader and you pass an eval on My Funded Futures, they will give you a free eval. It ends this week. Just throwing it out there. This is everybody that was on the morning stream, Matt. Let me look. If you're not in, I'll add you. Let me look, dude. Oh, you're in. I see you. I see you. I see you here. I do. Yo, Chris. Well, not if you have a low pass rate. I mean, if you have a low pass rate, nothing is probably good. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's good if you got a low pass rate. You talking about Tradeify. Dude, it's all automated. You got to put in the code. All right, Sam. Hold on one second. I am definitely going to trade gold tonight. If you're around, you should probably jump in the Discord around 8:45. We could talk. Sam, you won the account. You won any size Apex account. Any size you want. Just email me. I'll send you the thing. Man, I am fucking starved. I mean, I'm going to crush Mexican food like no other tonight. Dude, Mexican food all day. Oh! Is Maria here? She won. I'm just telling you guys. I'm vetoing it. She won. She's around every single day. She won. She's around every single day on the stream. Yeah, I got her, though. She deserves it for sure, Sean. Yeah. She's out of jail. She just got out of jail. Of course I got to give it to her. Yep. Well, now's the time to, yeah, definitely the right thing to do. Wait until she finds out she won, though. Actually, you know what? She's in Discord. Let me see if I can at her. I just added her in Discord. Man. I'm going to go grab some freaking grub in a little bit. Yeah, I think she drives home. If anyone's got questions, now's the time to ask. I could share my screen. If you got questions about whatever you got, now's a great time to ask. Like I said to everybody else, I'm probably not going to stream tomorrow. I'm going to try, but I don't know. And I'm going to probably stream on Friday for a little bit. What size Apex do I like? 50Ks mostly. I like 50Ks. I just feel like they're easier to pass. And then every once in a while, I take a shot at like a 150K. As you can see, I have a funded 150K. Dude, I got a lot of feet picks. A lot of feet picks. Yo, Sean, you message me because I'm ready whenever you are, man. Like if you're like ready right now, I'll handle it right now. But I understand if you're not. Yes, Kevin. All right, I'll give me 15 minutes. Okay, cool. Yeah, Kevin. But once you withdraw money, you can't go below 50,100. Just know that. Once you take a payout, you can no longer go below 50,100. So just let that be known. I've never tried. I don't know the last time I tried a 25K eval, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it is quick. Chris, I would copy your orders and show them. Was Challenger funded? I just blew a 25K. That was 100 away from. Yeah, 25s are the fastest to payouts. Just drawdowns fucking iffy. Obviously. Drawdown's definitely iffy. Oh, man. I like the 25Ks. The drawdown crushes me. Because there's quite a few times that I will go down $1,500 and bring it all the way back. So that's like one of the things for me. Later, BK. Yo, later, Code. End of day drawdown. Oh, man. This price isn't going anywhere. Delco. Yo, have a great weekend, everybody, if I don't see you. Just remember, don't get caught up in playing chop the next day or two because the market conditions for trading are not going to be very good. You know, it's one thing if you want to be a degen and have some fun, but I'm just telling you, I'm just telling you, you're definitely going to not have the best with low volume. It is what it is, but there's probably going to be some good moves. We'll see what happens. I'm just telling you, don't get chopped up. All right, boys, I'll see you maybe tomorrow, maybe on Friday, but I'll be in the Discord without a doubt. And we're going to do a big giveaway on Monday, so be here on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.